welcome back to the rural project. So I ended up actually staying over at the land last night, but back here this morning, had a great night's sleep. The day is a very different day, as you can see behind me. Very cloudy, windy, quite a lot colder than yesterday. With the job at hand today, I'm going to actually change the oil on the drive unit for the excavator. So let's get into that little project this morning. So on the excavator, the method of filling the oil in the drive unit, it's all in this area. So if you can see it on there, but that says oil level. So we'll rotate all of this around until the drain hole is at the bottom. We'll open up the oil level bung and open up the fill bung, and then what we'll do is I'll pour oil in through the fill bung until I see it coming out of the oil level hole, and that'll tell me then that it's half full of oil. Put that one back in, and we're done. So let's get into that now. I'll rotate this around slightly until it's perfectly level, and then we'll get the Allen keys out and open some of those bungs and drain the oil. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. So I'll get the little catch pan and get the tools out, and we'll get into this one. Okay, so it's a surgical operation, so time for surgical gloves. So catch can simply, there's not a lot of oil in these, so catch can is simply a little takeaway food container. What I'm going to do before I actually crack open the drain and drain it, I'm going to make sure that I can actually open all the others, because it'd be a bit of a nightmare if I drained this and then found out I've got some of these that are locked in place. Oh, I don't know when this was opened last. Oh. I had a feeling this was going to be a struggle. Maybe really to get an extension piece on this, it should just crack open. I think I'll get some spray release oil and give it a squirt. Give that a bit of time, let that seep in a bit, hopefully it'll free it up. Okay, so it's not been very successful. My little 1/4" drive that fits that 8mm socket that I've got, or 8mm socket to Allen key head. 1/4" drive's just broken on that. I was obviously leaning on it as hard as I could, trying to get it to move. So I've tried the rattle gun. So I've tried the 1/4" drive, which is the only socket that I've got. And as you can see, I've tried the WD-40 penetrating oil. So what I'll do is I'll stop for today, and I'll bring another one of these that I've got from home, which I think is a 1/2" drive on them for an 8mm, and yeah, we'll see if I can do it with that. If I've got that, I'll be able to put a bigger rattle gun on there as well, and hopefully we can free these up. But I've tried both sides are exactly the same, absolutely solid, not a bit of movement. What I would normally do is, in this sort of situation, where I revert to would be to heat these up, but I'm very conscious, I'm not quite sure what's behind here. I'm very conscious these are going to have seals on them, which will actually stuff up the seals. I don't have spares. I was expecting this to be a relatively easy job of opening them up, draining the oil, putting new oil in, and putting all the bungs back in. So I'm really not prepared, and I need this excavator over the coming weeks. So yeah, I'll leave it there for today, and I'll come back and have a crack at this another time when I've brought some more tools with me. Okay, so I'm back at the land again, and it's time for round 2 of trying to change the oil in the drive unit for the excavator. So as you remember, about a week ago I gave these spray with WD-40 because I couldn't undo them. So I've had a week to sit. Let's see if I can get these nuts and these bolts undone. I've come armed with a few different tools today, so we'll just try this one for starters. Easily done. Oh yeah. So a week of WD-40 sitting on these has that's been enough to free them all up. So now what we'll do, task here is to undo the drain. As we've said before, so this is the drain, that's the oil level indicator, and that's the fill point. Oh, that smells. That is nasty. We'll take all these plugs out. Didn't expect as much oil as this. No, it will be empty in a minute. That is thick and nasty. Stuff I'm putting in is nowhere near as thick and nasty as that. That's 70-75. It's much thinner stuff. It stinks as well. Yeah, well listen, I've had this excavator now for I think 2 and a bit years. I've never changed this oil yet, so I'm not sure if the previous owners had. Looking at this, I don't think they have. Here's one thing, I changed all the other oils, hydraulic oil, everything, but yeah, never actually changed this. I wasn't really that aware of it, to be honest. Okay, so we're just about there now. As you can see, that's it's pretty thick and black and nasty. So what I'll do is I'll put the plug back in. I think I'll put a little bit of oil in, lift the tracks up and run it a little bit, and then drain it out again, and then we'll do a proper fill. Okay, we'll lift this track up, give it a real quick spin, and then we'll make it back level and put it back down again. You got an
Going again.
Black. Yeah. But it's had a bit of a rinse out with some fresh stuff, so.
Yeah. It'll do that.
Well, I reckon that's empty enough now.
Yeah.
So start filling it back up. Do now, so you fill in there until you actually start to see the oil at that level. So this is the stuff that I'm using. There's 2.5 litres in there, that should be more than enough for both sides. There we go. So I'll let that all settle a bit because it has. Okay, think we can safely say that is now full. Put the bungs back in. And move on to the other side. Pretty easily done once you can get the bungs open. What I will say is I was right not to put heat in, because you can see these have got a rubber seal around them. So if I'd have heated these up, that rubber seal would have been trashed. I'd have had to have replaced that as well. So glad the WD-40 managed to work. Right, so now we shall go do the other side and then this job will be done. So we've got side number 2, so as you can see I've taken all the 3 bungs out. That's almost the second pot of oil now that's coming out. It's just in those final bits of oil to come out. Same thing though, it absolutely stinks. So it's very nasty stuff. Okay, so just doing the final fill up of this one. So I've done the same thing, filled it until it just started coming out and then backed off a little bit. Let the oil seep into all the gear mech inside. Right, I think it's safe to say that's now full. And again, quick nip up with each of these, just to engage that seal. And we can say that this job is done. And now it's time to go to work. Thanks for watching.